Welcome to Fishing TV.
Welcome back to Fishing TV, guys. I'm Danny, and that there is Titch, and we're down at Orchards today, Lake 7, where we was, funny enough, last time, and exactly the same place as well, where we had the 8 cats out, and I think it was like 3 or 4 carp, if I remember rightly. 12 or 13 fish come out all together by myself, which is brilliant. But yeah, we're back down at Orchards. We're back in the same swim. We brought the boy with us today. Let's get this done. Well, in the spirit of all things Fish It TV, guess what, guys? It's raining. Yep, we're in for a bit of rain today, and we've whacked the bivvy up as quick as we could. You've got the little man sitting over there, getting a little bit cold for him, so we've got the bivvy up as quick as we could, got a cup of tea on the go. Then we're going to get some rods set up, see how we get on. Since the last time we was down here, we're down at Orchards, Lake 7. Since the last time we've been down here, they've hacked it back a hell of a lot. I'll put a picture up around about here somewhere, anywhere out. So we'll put a picture up, show you what it's like. But yeah, it's been cut back a hell of a lot. All the islands been hacked all the way back, all the way around. The bank has all been hacked back. So there's no overhanging trees. There's no overhanging trees on the islands to cast into. Actually looks pretty good. It looks like they've actually put a bit of effort in, a bit of money and time, and done something good down there, because it was starting to look a little bit overgrown. It's always been a lovely little venue. I mean, it's not too overgrown, but yeah, there were overhanging trees the last time I was here. It was very hard to cast out to the island, had to use a bait boat, and apparently this time of year at the moment he's banning bait boats as well as spodding. Just this time of year, I believe he will bring it back towards the summer. And as you can hear, the heavens have opened yet again. Anyway, guys, I'm going to enjoy my cup of tea, and then hopefully I'll be back with you as soon as I've got the rods set up. Yeah, let's hope this weather passes. Anyway, guys, catch up with you in a little bit. So it's rain, rain, go away, come back when we're not bloody. Was that funny? Got to keep little man entertained. He's there, all wrapped up, nice and warm. Crisps already. Oh yeah, still raining. Yeah, get the rods out soon, but not more we can do at the minute. So just trying to entertain my son from getting bored and telling me he wants to go home already. But yeah, cup of tea, get the rods out. See you soon. Just going to have a quick look at the rig that I've got here. Obviously we've got a bit of tubing on there, the easy drop off flit system, and this is the Avid range. This is, you can see it there, and then on the business end we've got a size 8 on there today. We've got a little bit of tungsten putty just up the pop up on a wafter. Going to get them gunked up and get them back out there. Well, it's not been the most eventful day today so far. We've had one little fish out, little mirror carp, about £4 if we're lucky. Yeah, nothing else as yet. We've got all the rigs chucked back out again. Woo! Refreshed. Got some bait. Hello, Titch.
Hi.
Yeah, just got all the rods refreshed and put back out there for the night. It's now 7 o'clock. We're going to get some dinner on the go soon. Maybe have a few roasted marshmallows later on.
Yay!
We'll see what happens. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow will be a more eventful day. but that's fishing. It is what it is. If we don't catch, we don't catch, do we, Tyler?
Yeah.
So,
you catch one fish.
I'll catch one fish, but
I had
we're
0.
We're gonna get you one. We're definitely gonna get you one.
I want to catch fish.
Well, let's hope anyway. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you on the flip side. Woken up to the sound of the alarm going off next to me, as it was Leslie's bit.
That's the white one. Is this the white one? No, the white one was kept bleeping last night. I think there's a boot lace on that.
You reckon?
Yeah. Mate, this is
Got a kitty. Just as he was getting that close, it bumped. Could have been the first cat of the day, unfortunately.
oh well.
Unlucky dude. Good morning, guys. We're now on the second morning. Wasn't a very eventful night last night. We had a few little beeps on the rods. But yeah, nothing to write home about, nothing to get us out of bed. Titch got a little bit cold in the night, had to jump in with me. We had to wrap up really warm as it did. The temperatures really did drop. He wanted to go home at one point, bless him. Now, we're all good now. Say good morning.
Morning.
We're all good now. We're going to stick it out again for another day. Change all the baits around soon. See what's going on with the rods. Get them back out there. See if we can chase him mid-post down. Who knows? Unfortunately, Les lost the cat this morning. I got woken up with these buzzers going screaming off. As soon as he picked it up, he said, yeah, the difference was immense. You know, it wasn't a carp. It just ripped off. It roared round to one of the islands over there, and he didn't stand a chance. He lost it straight away. So, unfortunately, but let's get on the chase. Let's get back out there. Let's go find them. See you soon. Right, so we'll come around this side. Right, first thing you want to do, mate, is you see the top button on there?
Yeah.
But this one here. You want to hold that one down. Go on, you do it. Hold it down until it goes blip, blip, blip. That's it. Right. Now pick your rod up. Put that off. Turn that one off. Push it forward. No, push that one forward. Push it. Look, like that. No, watch. Right, now pick your rod up. That's it, pull it. That's it. Now reel. He's only gone and taken a bank stick with him and all. That's it, reel it. That's it. Oh, too much, too much. Right, so then what we do is we just pull that back again, release a little bit of line because you've got it all caught up in the end. Now we're going to bring this in and see what a mess you've made here. Right, okay. So now we've released a little bit of line from there. Look, that's freed up from there. We'll take a little bit more line out. Right, there we go. We've still got our bait on there. So what we'll do is we'll leave that on there because that's okay. But we're going to put some more ground bait on here for you, and we're going to get it cast out. So now we've got our ground bait. What we're going to do is just going to loosen it up with our hands, because it's been there all night. And then this is what we do. See this? We're going to fill this up with the ground bait. So we put some in a hand like that, and then we push that in.
In Chris.
We push that into the ground bait like that. Yeah, and it all sticks. So then we're going to put a little bit on the front, just a little bit like that, and then we get our hook bait, and we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to cover it with a bit more, and then we're going to squish it together with our hands to make it over your head. So come round like that way, so over your head. Look where you want to put it, and whenever you're ready, go for it. What a cast! What a cast! Well done. Yes.
You only got another one out.
Do you want to try and get that one in?
Sure.
Give it a go. Remember how to do it? No? What do you do first of all? Turn the alarm off. That's it, leave it there.
But you didn't.
I did. That's it. Now, you're left-handed, so this is going to feel weird for you. Go and lift it. It's a lot heavier rod.
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Daddy, do it.
I'm good.
We've got Tyler a small 8-foot rod, little NGT carp stalker, I think it's called. Little 8-foot rod, and he's got exactly the same reel as me on the Akuma Seamar, but a smaller version. Alright, okay, none of my baits have been touched overnight, so we're going to have a little sit down now, have a think about it, and find out what we can do to improve our chances. Be back in a moment. Right, so I'm going to start rebaiting one of my rods, and first thing I'm going to do is remove the old bait. In the lake it goes. Right, the reason I've got to towel me lap is because I like to dry everything down before I put everything back into a solid bag. I will be putting this rig into a solid bag before throwing it out, and wait for the wind to die down. Now, basically anything that's wet that goes into, well, anything that's been in the lake, shall we say, and is wet with actual water, this will go into the PVA bag and start melting the PVA bag before it's even had a chance to be cast out. So I like to make sure that everything is really dried out before I even attempt to bring a PVA bag anywhere close to any of my rigs. So I'll always spend a couple of minutes just drying everything out, making sure it's all bone dry, and I mean absolutely bone dry, before I put it in that PVA bag. So I've got about a foot of tubing coming up the line, going onto the easy drop-off system. Don't know whether you can see that from there, but we've got the easy drop-off system on there with a 2.5 ounce lead into a swivel. Then we've got an anti-tangle sleeve on there, and we've got about 8 inches of N-trap 15-pound coated braided line with a size 8 microbarbed hook with a knotless knot tied onto the end of it, and just a simple hair rig. One of my favourite rigs is just a simple hair rig. You know, I've put a tiny amount of tungsten, and instead of just putting it as a blob, I've actually put it going about an inch over the line. And then what that will help do is it'll either pin it to the bottom depending on the bait I'm using, or if I'm using something like a pop-up, I don't always like it just to hinge and just come off of the bottom. I sometimes like it just to have that little bit of weight, so it sits almost like that in the water. So it's literally coming up a few inches off of the bottom rather than just that hinged section. And what I find that sometimes does is just gives that bit of movement in the water like that, and then hopefully the fish will see it and find it as a moving particle. Obviously ducks and geese and everything else around there, I think it's mating season because they've been at it all bloody night. Kept us awake until about 3-4 o'clock this morning, also all you could hear was geese. But yeah, that's the method of how I use that. If I wanted to pin it to the bottom, I would have put a split shot on there, and then I would have wrapped it in the tungsten to give it that extra bit of weight. That's the method to my madness. It's already caught me one fish today on this trip. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be putting out on the second rod just yet. I'm still contemplating whether to put a method feeder out and see whether that works. Another idea, another method. And I'm even contemplating maybe changing one of the rigs to a zig. Again, my dad's a match fisherman, and he told me the other day that he was hard on the bottom for most of the day and didn't catch a thing. He started altering his rigs and started coming up in the water and finding them about the midsection. So it might be an idea. I know the water's still not that warm, but that's where the thermal layering may be. So that's another idea for later on. Anyway, for now, let's get this baited up and let's get it back out there because I'm not going to catch a fish otherwise. So yeah, these are coated in one of the DNA glugs. I'll have to get back to you on what one it is because it wasn't actually my one. Someone gave me some to try out and I really like the smell. So I gave my boilies a good coating in it. And there we go, they are absolutely stinking. So I've got different kinds of boilies in there. And I just put, I had about 2 or 3 different half bags. I just whacked them all in together, chucked them all in there. They're all stinking of the same stuff now, the DNA glug that I've put on it. And they're not stinking at all of what they originally were, so it doesn't really matter. So these are going to be high leakage because they've been sitting in this for a good couple of months. I wish you could smell that. They're going to bring out smell-o-vision one of these days and you'll be able to smell all the exciting smells that we anglers have to put up with on a daily basis. Some of them not so nice. Was that a bit too strong for you, mate? It's an acquired smell, obviously. So I'm going to be using one of these new Avid gated needles. Now, if you've not seen these before, I've just done a review on them, and I will put the link up in one of these corners. I can't remember which side it goes on. I can't even remember what colour to pick up half the time. So, but if you haven't seen these before, please go and check out the video. Again, totally independent. I bought these myself. There we go, all different colours. We've got 5 of them in total. We've got splicing needles, we've got drills, we've got needles, we've got gated needles. We've got them all here. So yeah, go check the video out, guys. And don't forget, while you're there, hit that subscribe button. Really helps me out though. No, joking aside though, hitting that like button really does help me out.
And you have a bell too.
Right, so we've got one of these boilies. And the next thing I'm going to use is a pop-up topper. I'm just going to get the scissors
Cut it in.
and I'm going to take a chunk off of that just to give it a nice flat edge. I'm going to get one of these and we're also going to take this down a little bit. I don't want it over buoyant. And we're going to go through the topper first. And we're going to go through the boilie, and we've got a nice, as you can see there, nice little doubled up bait. This is going to go on my simple hair rig. There we go. Now we're just going to finish that off with one of the bait stops. The problem with this DNA stuff is it is so sticky. That sticky that I can't even get a bait stop in it. Right, here we go. My fingers are just sticking together all over the place.
Wicked.
And as you can see there, there's the finished rig. Got the topper on there, we've got the boilie on there. Now what that's going to do is, as it goes in the water, that's going to sit basically on the bottom and just waft about, almost like a wafter. But that's hopefully going to do the job. I'm going to attach that back in there. We're going to stick that in a PVA bag and we're going to launch it out there. Right, so inside the PVA bags, I always keep my PVA bags in an airtight lockable container like this, nice and waterproof. I know they're not going to get destroyed by the rain if I accidentally leave them out, as long as I put the lid back on, that is. Now I'm only casting out a short distance. It's only, I don't know, 30 yards at the most. It's not that far to the island out there. So I don't need an I don't need one of the small bags. I don't care how aerodynamic it is, because I know I'll be able to put it on the spot every time, because it's a short cast. So if you see this bag looking a little bit messy, or you think that's a big bag, I'm only going short distance. If I was going a lot further, then I'll be using a smaller bag. I'll be using a smaller bait to fill it with, rather than bigger pellets or things like that. So yeah, I mean, the aerodynamics of a PVA bag all depends on how far you're going to cast it. So remember that, you know, if you're only going 30, 40 yards, it's not too much of a problem. If you're going to try and pelt it across the other side of the lake, I would use a small bag. I would use a smaller, lighter bait, like a crumb or micro pellets or something like that. I mean, as you can see here, I've got an assortment of pellets. There's boilie crumb in there, there's ground bait in there, it's just a nice mixture of everything. And that is my general mixture that I will use here, there and everywhere else. Again, if I'm doing distance fishing, I change my tactics and I'll have a different kind of bait set up. So what we're going to do here is, first of all, I've got some ground bait. It's mainly a method mixture, but I'm just going to put a handful of this in the bottom first of all. It's not been prepared, it's totally as it comes out of the bag. But we're going to put just a little section of that in there first of all. And this has been sitting on the towel now for quite a while. This is bone dry. That goes in there. What? So that goes in there, and then I'll just hold that again. I'll hold the weight against the bag and then start adding some of the pellet.
I don't go 100 miles away.
Right, once I've got a layer of that in there, I'll now drop the weight in there and I'll hold the line roughly in the centre of the bag. Now what I'm going to do is put a bit more ground bait in there. Followed with one more handful of pellets. So now you can see the bag's roughly 3/4 of the way filled. I'm now going to pinch that around, give it a bit of a shake up, try and get everything down in all the gaps, nooks and crannies. And give that a twist. And as you can see, I've not got prepared at all before I've tried doing this video. All right. PVA tape. I don't like the string, I prefer the actual tape.
Tape.
What I'll do is I'll hold that in that hand across there, and then I'll whip it around, going down in towards the bag rather than up towards my fingers, as that will make everything that wee bit tighter. Right, once I've done that a few times around the bag, I will then do a couple overhand or granny knots, 2 or 3 of them, just to secure everything down and make sure it doesn't all fall off as I'm casting. Right, once that's done, we're then gonna cut off the excess. Now, with this bit up here, very, very important to keep an eye on the line while you're doing this. So what I'll do is I'll hold it away, the line, and pull it away, and then cut down and around the line, being ever so careful not to catch it. So we're nearly there, we're nearly there. Now what we're going to do is get the edges and just tamper them down. Just pushing everything into the centre. And we're going to wet this. Fold that down into it. Just hold that there for a few seconds. And do exactly the same on the other side. Just tampering that down, making sure it all compresses and compacts. So as you can see, we've got a nice loose bit there. I'm going to lick that again. Yeah, not very nice. Leaves a little bit of an aftertaste in your mouth, but a cup of tea will soon solve that. And there, well, didn't want to do that. And there's our PVA bag. Right. One last thing before we send it out. Just going to stab a few holes in with this with a baiting drill or needle or whatever you have to hand. And what that is going to do is just help the water get into the bag and dissolve at a quicker rate. And there we have it. Let's get it out there. All right, now to get this out there. All right, so I'm going to go for the corner of the island over there. Let's see how we get on. Cheers, man. Well, just trying to sort my breakfast out and the rod roars off again. Everyone else is eating, but yeah, of course, as soon as I'm doing mine, that's when all the action happens. Absolutely beautiful little common there. As you can see, another beautiful specimen coming out of this lake. Glad to see we're not having a blank. Let's get this beauty back in the water. Thank you very much. Right, Tyler wants to hold the little fish, so we're gonna hold on. Here it is.
Still got some fight in him.
Hold him, that's it. There we go. How about that? Well done, mate.
That is it.
You see it out there? You see it?
Found it.
No. Wait a minute. So I've just gone down to the tackle shop that they've got on site here, and we've just picked up some of these half-pointer red maggots. We've put them on a size 16 hook, and straight away he's hooking into a few little roach. We don't care if they're not carp. Les's kettle's going. We're just trying to catch something at the moment. Right, now reel a little bit.
Nope.
No?
I haven't got anything.
Right, reeling. Right, hold the rod out straight. You have, look. Hold that.
No, I think that's some fish.
It's the same kind of fish, yeah.
I think it just looks the same.
So now we're going to use a disgorger. I'm just going to push that into his mouth. Out comes the hook. There we go. Going to put him back nice and gently. Good boy. Roach patrol.
He's very cheap.
Hopefully we found something to entertain him a little bit. It's as I say, it's not ideal. I'm not catching carp or cats, but it's fish all the same. And you know, you've got to start the kids off somewhere. And if it means going out and getting a little bit of silverfish, so be it. So be it. He's just passed me the disgorger back. Old matchman's habits. Look, hide it behind the ear. Yeah, we're going to carry on, persevere with this for a little bit, try and catch a few more of these little roach and just give him a little bit of afternoon's entertainment, catching something, which is better than catching nothing. Anyway, I definitely think it's time for a cup of tea. Catch you soon.
Right. Yeah, but that's Charlie, your one, but well better than mine. This one. Right, go.
Don't know whether you can see this, guys, but half one in the morning we just had this slug. I'm not going to weigh him, he probably goes about 12 pound, I would have said.
A bit more than that, mate.
12 to 15 pound.
Yeah.
What a wake up call. You are a right bruiser. Keep still. Oh, we got a right battler here, guys. This thing is beating me up left, right and centre. He weighs 18 pound, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, you got a bad back.
And I've got a very bad back after this. Please stop beating me up. There we go, guys. 4 o'clock in the morning. It's absolutely stunning 18 pound common. Beating me up a bit, but she's absolutely immaculate. Let's put her back. So, we had a bit of an eventful night last night. All kicked off about, I don't know, it was about 20 past 1 when we had that catfish come out We didn't weigh him, but he went about, I would have said he's a little bit more than what I was actually thinking. 15 to 18 pound maybe. Going on the way to the other 2 fish that we had during the night, because then later on we had around about 2:10, we had an 18 pound mirror carp. He was an absolute battle cruiser. He gave me a fight all the way in, and then he beat me up on the bank as well. He just would not let me pick him up. He gave me literally 30 seconds to get a photo, and that was it. He was a nightmare. I mean, just watch the clip back and you'll see how he's flapping about him, you know, in the arms and that. And I was really sure I was tired, I'd just woken up. Yeah, that was fun. And then about 4 o'clock this morning, we had the most beautiful common take our bait, and we had everything in exactly the same spot. Funny enough, in the same spot we had all the cats from on the Cat Frenzy video. And we had them with a ground bait mix on a method feeder, and we had one pop-up. No, we didn't. I'm telling lies. We had one normal 12mm boilie, and then we had a small plastic bit of corn topper. And yeah, that caught all 3 fish within, what, a few hours of each other. So yeah, really good night. Really enjoyed it down there. We're in the middle of packing up at the moment. Bivvy's all going down, and it will be in a minute. Just weather's not the best. It's spitting a little bit, so I want to get everything packed up and get out of here before the heavens open. Really windy. It was quite windy last night as well. So, but yeah, all in all, guys, a brilliant trip. Yeah, as you can probably hear, that wind is proper beating up my bivvy at the moment. So yeah, we're going to get that down and get out of here. Little man's had enough, he wants to go home. Don't blame him, he's done well. It's the longest he's done. So hats off to you, Tyler. Well done, mate, you've done really well. Alright guys, so I'm going to call it a day on this one now. We've had a really eventful time. Please like and subscribe to the video. It really does help me as a YouTuber, helps me grow. As I said in the last video, 95% of people that are watching are not subscribing, so let's try and make that grow a little bit, please. If we can, that'd be great. Until next time, guys, tight lines. See you again soon.
Bye.